I've got some updates about the case where the three friends were found in the backyard of their friend's house after watching a Chiefs game last weekend. I've been in contact with some of the family members and friends of the victims in this case, and so I'm very grateful that they have been open and honest with me and vulnerable about sharing some of the specifics about this case, but I am going to be keeping them anonymous just to respect their privacy. However, the consensus is that they want this story out there because everyone thinks there's something fishy here and they want justice. So just for a quick recap, this is Clayton McGeeney, Ricky Johnson, and David Harrington. They went to this house, the home of Jordan Willis, who is a brilliant scientist out of Kansas City. He hosted a little watch party for the Chiefs game last weekend. The last person to leave the house left at around 11 o'clock. And then nobody heard from these three friends that Monday or that Tuesday. Finally, Clayton's fiance, April, went to the house on Tuesday evening to figure out what the heck was going on. She was banging on the doors. People had been messaging Jordan for days. He was not responding to anybody. He wasn't opening the door for anybody. And then finally, April took it upon herself to get into the house and figure out what the heck was going on, announced her presence, went to the backyard, and found somebody laying on the porch covered in snow. One of the men was found on the porch, and then the other two were found in the yard. This is Jordan Willis. He was renting the home at the time, and he said that he assumed his friends must have frozen to death. Now, in my last video, I did raise the question about how this man, who had two dogs, didn't notice that his friends were laying in his backyard over the course of 2 days. But apparently, his dogs were actually at his parents' house. But that still does not explain why you wouldn't answer all of the calls and messages and people banging on your door looking for your friends, especially when 2 of their cars were parked in front of his house. Ricky's car was at David's house because the 2 of them rode together. Clayton's car was at Jordan's house as well. As of right now, there is a search warrant being executed at Jordan's house. The autopsies and toxicology reports are pending, so that will hopefully give us some more answers. And then, as of yesterday, Jordan Willis had a U-Haul out in the front of his house because he's moving out. And to answer this question, I don't know, because this gate was unlocked. So there's not any way that these guys couldn't have gotten to their cars if they wanted to. It's still inexplicable how they all ended up outside and how they all ended up dead. There have been rumors or speculation that drugs were involved. I'm not really going to touch on that just yet until we have more specific information, but it does seem like one of the most plausible theories. And this is so bizarre, but somebody sent this to me. This is a screenshot from Jordan's sister's Facebook page, and I went ahead and blurred her name out so that there's nothing attaching her name to this post. But a week before this incident happened, she posted this picture of a dead bird on a back porch with the caption, "Hello, Lee Summit Police. I'd like to report a mass homicide. There are not 1, not 2, but 3 dead birds on the back patio of this house I just showed. Send help. Hashtag Realtor Life."
That is so damn weird.
Yeah. Lastly, GoFundMes have been set up for each of the victims, but just make sure that you're giving to the right one if you do. David Harrington's is organized by Dennis Wallace. Clayton's is organized by Stacia McGeeney, and Ricky's is organized by Stephanie Walling. I'll continue to follow this story and report on it as I communicate with the friends and family of the victims. I think justice needs to be served here because something is not right. So follow along if you want to keep following this story, share this story to get the word out, and pray for these families.